Welcome to the 2016-17 school year. I hope you're off to a great start. For fourth grade, no changes were made to your curriculum or assessments in science this summer. Our standards are in the process of revision, and so we should be able to see a draft of those new standards in December. Curriculum work will take place this summer, and we'll make any adjustments we need to comply with the new standards. So one of the big changes though this year is how you're going to access your curriculum materials for science. On this Canvas page, you're going to find information for your FOSS kits, and you'll also find information about standards on this page. When you're looking for FOSS, you're going to click on this blue, purple FOSS button, and you're going to find a number of things in here. First of all, you're going to find the contact information for our Science Center employees. Under the Living Materials order forms, you'll be able to click here and you'll be able to download your order form to order your living materials for environments. So there's a couple of things about this. One, please make sure that when you're clicking on any of these links that you are logged into your DVUSD Google account, because anything that is linked through Google, you're going to have to be logged in order to access those files. If you receive a notice that says that you don't have permission, you're going to need to go back and make sure that you log into your Google account. Please do not send a request, because you're just going to get back an email that says please log into your account. When you're ordering your organisms, please make sure you're only ordering what you need in order to teach your course and to teach the students that you have. If you find that you're not going to be able to use the living materials and you know like at least a week ahead of time that you're not going to get to it, please let Brad know so that he can cancel your order so that we don't order things that we don't need. In fourth grade teachers did not order their kits. They're based on a rotation, and there is an image here of the kit rotation, so that if you're not sure what you're getting or what you should have on your campus, you'll be able to open this file and you'll be able to see what was ordered for your campus or what's being sent to your campus. We have a limited number of kits, and on some of our kits we're like really tight on how many titles we have that we can send out. We also have a limited number of employees in the Science Center. And so one reason why we're sending these out like we did last year, where you're keeping things on your campus and rotating them around your campus, is because we don't have the manpower to be able to have all these kits go out and come back in every quarter to get them restocked and inventoried and sent back out to your campuses in a timely manner. When we were doing it on the quarter by quarter basis, teachers lost 8 weeks of instructional time, and at this time you lose 1 week at the end of the year if you're one of the campuses that gets a full kit for each year, for the whole year. And if you're on a campus where you do have fall kits and spring kits, you pretty much lose a week in the fall semester and a week in the spring semester, and then you have to return them a week before the end of the school year. So we're really cutting down on that lost instructional time by using this rotation. Please do not contact the Science Center and ask them if you can change your kits, because like I said, we're really limited on the number of kits that we have in each title, and so this was like a giant puzzle that I had to fit all together. If you want to change your order for next year, if you're looking at it and you're like, we really want to try something different next year, you can let me know that in the spring, and I can look at if there's multiple teachers that want to move things around, then we can consider that for the next school year. Under the Curriculum Materials tab, you'll find materials that were created by teachers a few years ago. So on here, I'm going to scroll back up a little bit to the top. You'll find pacing guides, key ideas, vocabulary, the correlations between the FOSS activities and the state standards. You'll also see the handouts. These are the same ones that are accessible through FOSSweb. These ones are also, you can order the handouts through our print shop. Please contact your school secretary if you don't know your school's login. They are free of charge, and they print them out either half sheets or full sheets for you. The last link under FOSS are the premium access codes for your kits. So if you scroll down, you'll see that we have access codes for all 4 of our kits that we utilize in 4th grade. If you haven't had the opportunity to look at these, you can definitely go ahead and log into FOSSweb. The nice thing about this is that there's digital access to your teacher's editions, so you can see what's coming up next if you want to plan ahead. Other information for fourth grade you'll find here under the fourth grade tab. This will be information that's specific to fourth grade. So you'll find standards charts in here. This fourth grade placemat has all the standards for strands 1 through 6 on one 11 by 17 sheet of paper, which is kind of nice. You can see it all at once at one time. Down here, these progression charts, what I've done is I've taken standards and I've broken it down to what each grade level should know for that particular standard so that you can see where your kids are in the progression of what they learn over time. The nice thing, particularly with strands 1 through 3, is that you can see where your kids should be coming into you, what you should be teaching them, and then that next step for them. So if you've got kids that are a little bit more advanced than others and you want to push them, you can see what standards you should be kind of pushing them towards and what their standards say for the next year. And you'll find that for all of the strands. This is our district curriculum guide for fourth grade. In this, you'll also find, in addition to the FOSS kits and things like that, but what you'll also find are some additional ideas for things that you can teach, like especially where there's areas where there's some gaps with FOSS. You'll find teachers have helped out a little bit and put in some additional activities and supplemental resources. In fourth grade, there are 5 required district assessments. This first window here will show you when the testing windows are. Once again, the post-assessments will be open all year so that you can, especially if you're going to try to compress your year to have everything taught by Ames, so you can have some choices about when you administer your post-assessments. The pre-tests are available. They're optional. You do not have to give the pre-assessments, but you do need to give these post-assessments. This gap analysis assessment, we called it a pre-test last year. We're calling it a gap analysis this year. It's the same test. This is a required assessment. This one shows where students should be when they come into you. So these are all standards that they should already know and have experienced in third grade. If you notice at the end of this, it has an L. The L refers to the security level of the test. This means it's a low-level test. You will be able to see the item analysis. You'll be able to see all the information that you need for your students once they take this test. The only thing you can't do with this test is print it out, give it to them, and have them take it home with them. But everything else you'll have access to. Because this is based on previous year's standards, it is not appropriate to use this gap analysis test for an SLO goal. It is not assessing students on the current year standards, so you can't use it for that. The next thing that you'll see below this are a descriptor of the different tests, and it'll tell you if it's optional or if it's required. Last year we did align the names of the assessments more with the standards as opposed to the kit name, and so you'll see those new ones in here. These are the post-assessments on this side, and these are the pre-assessments on the other side with a little bit of a rationale for what the test is about. As we go back to the fourth grade page, the last link that I want to walk you through are the back to school updates. Some of these things are things that I've said through the video, but I wanted to make sure that they were in writing. You will also be able to find in Canvas, I'll be posting Ames data just as soon as I've had time to kind of crunch some of the numbers in here. Some of these links are ones that we've already gone through. One thing I do want to reiterate is about a safety contract or a safety agreement that you have with your students. You need to have a conversation about safety before you start any investigation with your students, and there needs to be some sort of written documentation that you've had that conversation with your students. These safety agreements are samples. They are not required. You don't have to use any one of these, but you do have to have something in writing. So you could have a safety pledge that everyone signs. You could use one of these. You could make one that's more fitting to your classroom, that uses some of these same ideas. But the basic understanding is that students need to have a different attitude and behavior when they're doing investigations. We want to make sure that safety is foremost in everyone's mind and that we're keeping our students and our materials all safe and useful again. So you want to make sure that you hold on to those safety agreements. There's a couple of reasons why we do this in writing. One of them is that for students, sometimes they take it a little bit more seriously because they had to put their name on something, and so they're like, oh, this she really means this, or he really means this. The other reason is for liability reasons. Having their signature on there tells us that the student was there and present for the conversation, and so if something unfortunately does happen, we do have that documentation that the student was part of the conversation. You will be able to find the different resources that are listed here in Canvas. The only things that aren't there yet are the SDS sheets and the animal and plant care. I'm going to make sure that those are all in place this week. Just some other helpful links that you might find useful. I really do like this cognitive rigor matrix for math and science. The difference between this and other DOK charts that you might find is they actually use math and science language. So sometimes the other charts are written more from a language arts point of view, and so they don't necessarily really fit with science, but this one does, so that one's a really great resource. Once again, I just want to point out that my contact information is here on the front page. If you do have questions, please let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great year.